was Saturday, January 28th, AM Joy. Okay. Now, it's not racist because Islam is not a race. Islam is a religion. It's not racist because Islam is not a race. Islam is a religion. It's bigotry. It's done by white supremacism and racists. Yeah, it's done by that. But it's not racist because Islam is not Islam is not a race. And you have people of all different races and ethnicities who practice Islam. Okay. All right. So that was Saturday. And you had a press conference today by White House Press Secretary Sean Spicer. He was also on Morning Joe this morning. And over the weekend, they've been saying, oh, well, this is, very similar to the ban that President Obama had on these countries also. They said these 7 countries are countries that President Obama had a ban against, right? So there's an article from the Washington Post came out yesterday. It's a fact-checking article. Trump's facile claim that his refugee policy is similar to Obama's in 2011. Okay, now Trump said on January 29th, which was yesterday, about his executive order, he said, my policy is similar to what President Obama did in 2011 when he banned visas for refugees from Iraq for 6 months. Okay, this is what they're saying, and they say, oh, so why are you jumping on us? Blah, blah, blah. Now, before we get into this fact checking, and I'm going to give you the summarized version of the fact checking. You can check out the article, read the rest of it. What I find very interesting is that Donald Trump spent 18 months on the campaign trail demonizing the Obama administration, demonizing President Obama and his decisions, saying our leaders don't know what they're doing, these policies are terrible, ISIS, blah, blah, blah. He spends 18 months just totally ridiculing the Obama administration. Now, his argument is, I'm doing the same thing the Obama administration did, so what's wrong with it now? How'd you spend 18 months saying how bad President Obama's policies were, how Secretary of State John Kerry didn't know what he was doing? He said, and then before him, Hillary Clinton. He said Hillary Clinton. I think it was either John Kerry or Hillary Clinton. He said, well, the worst Secretary of States in history. He probably can't name you any other previous Secretary of States. He talked about how bad the policies were of the Obama administration. Spent 18 months doing this. But then wants to say, oh, well, this policy is very similar to the Obama administration. I just find that shocking. Okay. Now, what Donald Trump won't tell you is that, number one, President Obama responded to an actual threat, because there is no actual perceived threat here with these 7 countries. Because if there was one, they would have already said there was one. Okay. And this was an executive order that Trump did. And the Department of Justice and the intelligence agencies that would normally be involved in this were not notified until the very last minute. Okay, which is crazy. Okay, so first of all, President Obama responded to an actual threat. The discovery that 2 Iraqi refugees have been implicated in bomb making in Iraq that had targeted U.S. troops. Okay, and Iraq, after all, was a war zone. Under congressional pressure, officials decided to re-examine all previous refugees and impose new screening procedures, which led to a slowdown in proceedings and processing new applications. Donald Trump, by contrast, issued his executive order without any known triggering threat. His staff has pointed to attacks unrelated to the countries named in his order. They're just all over the place, have no clue what they're doing. They're pointing to attacks unrelated to the 7 countries in the executive order. Secondly, President Obama did not announce a ban on visa applications. Okay. We're coming up on, we're on break right now. We'll be back from break in 2 minutes. We'll continue this on the other side of the break. Okay, listen to the Michael Imhotep Show right here on the Empowerment Radio Network, where knowledge is power. Back to this article here. This is a fact-checking article from the Washington Post from yesterday, okay, and it's dealing with Donald Trump's ban on refugees, okay, and a lot of people calling this the Muslim ban, and Rudy Giuliani was interviewed on Fox News, of course, and he said something to the effect that Donald Trump contacted him and asked him, how could we do a Muslim ban and make it legal? So he said he told him how to do it. Okay. So we know that Donald Trump campaigned on banning all Muslims. Okay. Then he backed away from that and said, well, we're going to ban them from certain regions. But it was Trump. The media did not make this up. Okay. It was Donald Trump who said that he was calling for the ban of all Muslims coming to America. That was Donald Trump who did that. That wasn't the media who made that up. Okay. All right. Now, let's go back to this. Let's go back to this article here. Just a second here. Okay. So, I'm just giving you the summarized version. The name of this article is Trump's Facile Claim, F-A-C-I-L-E, Trump's Facile Claim that his refugee policy is similar to Obama's in 2011, okay? Because this article was like 4 pages, so I'm just dealing with the summary, the last page, okay? So, first of all, now they gave Donald Trump 3 Pinocchios on this claim. He's just straight out wrong in line, and I don't even think he studied what President Obama did. Now, first of all, President Obama responded to an actual threat. The threat was the discovery that 2 Iraqi refugees had been implicated in bomb making in Iraq that had targeted U.S. troops, okay? And Iraq was a war zone, right? Now, under congressional pressure from Congress, officials decided to re-examine all previous refugees and impose new screening procedures, which led to a slowdown in processing new applications. Donald Trump, by contrast, issued his executive order without any known triggering threat, and his staff has pointed to attacks unrelated to the countries named in the executive order. Okay, and those 7 countries, once again, let me see. We'll give you the names of the 7 countries here. Just a second, I just had it. It's Iraq, Libya, Iran, Iraq, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. Okay, those are the 7 countries. All right, now, secondly, President Obama did not announce a ban on visa applications. Okay, and there was certainly a lot of news reporting that visa applications had slowed down to a trickle. But the Obama administration never said it had a policy to halt all applications. It is now clear that no ban was put in place, okay, under the Obama administration. Even so, the delays did not go unnoticed, so there was a lot of critical news reporting at the time about the angst of Iraqis waiting for approval. Third, President Obama's policy did not prevent all citizens of that country, including green card holders, from traveling to the United States. Donald Trump's policy is more sweeping, though officials have appeared to pull back from barring permanent U.S. residents. Okay. Now, at the time of this article, and I printed this article up this afternoon, 12:29 p.m. So at the time I printed this up, the Washington Post, they originally said they sought comment from the White House and from the Obama administration officials, and they said they may update this story. They gave it originally 2 Pinocchios. There's an update to this story. They said, in light of the response from the Obama administration officials that there never was a point when Iraqi resettlement was stopped or banned, they are now updating this ruling to 3 Pinocchios. Iraqi refugee processing was slowed in response to a specific threat, but it was not halted. It was slowed to a specific threat, but it was not halted. The Trump White House, meanwhile, has failed to provide any evidence for its statement. Okay, and they probably can't. All right, now, in the last 2 hours, President Obama has responded through a series of tweets to this. And let me pull that up here just a second here. Okay, so breaking his silence only 10 days after he left office, former President Barack Obama backed nationwide protests against President Donald Trump's immigration orders on Monday. In a strongly worded statement issued through a spokesman, President Obama said he was, quote, heartened by the level of engagement taking place in communities around the country, end quote. He went on to say citizens exercising their constitutional right to assemble, organize, and have their voices heard by their elected officials is exactly what we expect to see when American values are at stake. And Kevin Lewis posted a statement from Kevin Lewis, spokesperson to former President Obama. Kevin Lewis tweeted, former President Barack Obama is heartened by the level of engagement taking place in communities around the country. Now, the article goes on to say the former president rejected Donald Trump's contention on Sunday that his executive orders restricting travel from 7 predominantly Muslim countries were, quote, similar to what President Obama did in 2011 when he banned visas for refugees from Iraq for 6 months, end quote. President Obama's statement on Monday said, quote, with regard to comparison to President Obama's foreign policy decisions, as we've heard before, the president fundamentally disagrees with the notion of discriminating against individuals because of their faith or religion, end quote. Now, the 2011 order did not ban visas for refugees who by definition did travel on visas. It tightened the review process for citizens of Iraq and for refugees and the 6 other countries. Okay, you can read the rest of this article. We're going to post it here on the thread. It just came out let me see. Well, they updated it. I think it came out about 2 or 3 hours ago. Okay, this article here from NBCnews.com. Obama rejects Trump immigration orders, backs protests. Obama rejects Trump immigration orders, backs protests. Now, I think it's safe to say, well, first of all, I don't think they expected President Obama to respond to these allegations that what Trump is doing is very similar to what Obama did. I don't think I guess maybe the fact that they haven't heard from him maybe they thought he wasn't paying attention or something. I mean, you really didn't think he was going to respond to this. That doesn't even make sense.